Center in Dallas, and a reminder to play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Flames player scores 5 times in tonight's game, Louise Cormier of Lethbridge could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet West. Let's go to Rob and Charlie once again.
Welcome inside the American Airlines Center. October is Hockey Fights Cancer across the National Hockey League. And this game tonight between the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames is Dallas's particular Hockey Fights Cancer night. And Julie Dobbs, a producer at Fox Sports Southwest, is here. She is battling breast cancer. She is going to drop the ceremonial puck as we draw attention to the fight all across North America to help eradicate this horrific disease. And you can see the captain of the Dallas Stars, Jamie Benn, has the lavender tape on his stick, much like when the Flames hosted their Hockey Fights Cancer night earlier this month. The Dallas Stars players, some of them, 6 of them, will have their sticks on the NHL website. They'll be auctioned off with that lavender to raise funds for Hockey Fights Cancer. Let's go to the starting goalies, brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Kari Ramo gets back into the net tonight for the Calgary Flames, fresh off his first win in the National Hockey League since March 14th of 2009. Monday, he stopped 27 shots in a 3-2 win over LA. And Kari Lehtinen has missed the last 5 games with a lower body injury. He's coming off a very strong start earlier in this season. He picked up 2 wins in his first 3 starts. So a pair of Finnish netminders, and there you see Matt Stajan, the 3rd consecutive veteran to be a game-time decision, but then the draw in the lineup, Charlie, on this road trip.
That's good news for the Calgary Flames. And Mike Camilleri, David Jones, and now Matt Stajan to get that experience back with the enthusiasm of the youth. Bob Hartley changing his lineup just a little bit as we talked about players in and out of the lineup that deserve to be there.
Take a look at the meetings here in Dallas, Charlie. How tight has the last 8 games been?
Very tight, some very exciting games. Remember a couple last year, and the one in particular where the Flames came from a 2-goal deficit in the 3rd period to come back and win. And let's face it, there's some good teams, and you've got to battle every single night this year.
We're underway as the Flames finish off their 5-game road trip, trying to pick up their 2nd win. Dallas trying to bounce back after a pair of losses in Los Angeles and Anaheim over the weekend. It's the veteran Robidas playing it below the goal line. There is Ben, and the Flames, Glenn Cross after it along the boards. Robidas pinching in to keep it alive for Dallas. Matt Stajan playing it back. There's Chris Butler trying to get it out. Can't again. Buzzing are the Stars, and Ben turned away by Rommel. Tyler Seguin, formerly of the Boston Bruins, is out there. Lee Stempniak is launched by Dillon. Oh, Brendan Dillon got all of Lee Stempniak, firing him back down to the ice.
Couple big hits already tonight. Glenn Cross on Dillon earlier, and on the far side, Robidas get hit by Stajan. So, yeah, they're come out to play some physical hockey.
Trevor Daley at the point. That one whistles over top of the net. Jordy Ben, Jamie Benn, the captain of the Stars' older brother, a defenseman, wears 24. He's out there and he has the puck. That's by Chazon. Now behind the net, it squeaks free as the Flames trying to apply some pressure. Russell ahead. Flames gain the line. Gagliardi after it, but it's offside and an early whistle here in the first period.
Gagliardi, one of the veterans that I think, if you look over the last couple of games, that they would like to have him back on his skating stride. But here's the hit on Lee Stempniak as Dillon comes in and really throws a good shoulder-to-shoulder hit. Stempniak probably realized he was going to get bumped, maybe not that hard, made the play to get it outside the defensive zone.
Brody with the puck turns, and he'll give it to Yuri Hudler. Hudler with points in 9 consecutive games to start the season for Calgary. And he's right up there amongst the top scorers in the National Hockey League. As that's an icing call coming all the way back down into Dallas territory.
much appreciated day off. Well, not quite a day off. There was a slight skate of travel yesterday, but not back-to-back games. And the way that Bob Hartley wants his club to play, the intensity, each shift, the skating, the hitting, the forechecking, back-checking, you're having days like that. It's a welcome sight for them, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Flames respond here in the first period.
Dallas skated out. Here's Sean Horcoff, one-time captain of the Edmonton Oilers. Now a member of the Dallas Stars. Eric Cole. Pavel Nichushkin. Stars picked him 10th overall in the draft this past June in New Jersey. Very excited to have this young man. And the puck played to the far side. There's Joe Colborne. He picked up his first goal as a member of the Flames Tuesday night in that 4-2 loss to the Phoenix Coyotes. Kevin Connauton racing ahead for Dallas. His first ever NHL game. Connauton shot misses. Now Roussel gives it away. Lance Boma will happily take it. The puck bounces and Vern Fiddler's there for Dallas. Boma playing it in. Flames trapped offside. I don't think Boma saw Jackman.
Everybody's looking at this road trip, both I think media, fans, players, coaching, management, to see how the Flames would handle the road games to Anaheim, San Jose, LA, Phoenix. You come out of this with a big win tonight, I think it'd have to be a success. Maybe not the type of success you'd want on a road trip. You start at 500, but there were some tough teams and some tough learning curves from some young players that haven't had a lot of National Hockey League experience so far.
Brendan Dillon, he plays it in the Calgary end. TJ Brody has it. Long pass up ahead to Curtis Glencross. Couldn't negotiate contact with it. And Dillon gets it back. Peverly to Sagan. Over teammates in Boston. That's rimmed around the boards. Robidaw will shoot it towards the net. Never quite got on target. Dillon plays it again. Back to the far side. Ben to Sagan. Nice pass to Dillon. Peverly parked in front, trying to tip it in on Ramo. And this puck bounced out to center. Robidaw trying to get away from a check. Flames get it backstage and will just play to the Dallas blue line. So far, it's Dallas carrying the play to Calgary.
Kind of a scrappy little start. Not a lot of flow, especially through the neutral ice zone. And I think just have to step up their intensity defensively.
No Mark Giordano. He misses this game. Second consecutive game with a lower body injury. We talked about Sagan coming over from Boston and Rich Peverly as well.
21 years old. Nice pickup for Jim Nill. Already has the Stanley Cup under his belt. So you're getting some good experience with Rich Peverly. 4 points this year playing on the top line. And Tyler Sagan at the 10 points. So there's that combination and that chemistry coming over from Boston. And not a bad left winger in Jamie Benn to complement them.
Sagan moved back to center, his natural spot from junior, sitting this morning that in Boston predominantly played the wing. And by bringing him to center, that's allowed Jamie Benn to move back to the wing. Cody Eakin watched in the corner by Chris Russell. Puck comes back to the point. Veteran Sergei Gonchar manning that point as Whitney fires it towards the net. All kinds of room in tight. They score! Shea Son, 1-0 Dallas.
Sloppy play by the Flames. Again, not being dominant on that loose puck. They have to have that pursuit of the loose puck. Sloppy passes, just a turnaround quick shot at the net. Chazon standing there all by himself. Nice little move. First save was made by Ramo. And then all of a sudden the rebound. Just too much reach as he's able to handle it before Weidman got back to try and help out. And early wake-up call for the Flames right now.
Alex Chazon started the season with goals in 3 consecutive games. Has gone the last 5 without a goal, but that's his 4th of the season. And the Dallas Stars grab a 1-0 lead, and for the 5th time on this road trip, the Flames give up the first goal of the game.
And player has had a very good start to the season. That's his 4th of the year. Right there, spending too much time in their own zone. Loose pucks, that's where you have to have that commitment on the play. Whether it's physical, bouncing it off boards. Early in the game on a road trip like this, you've got to just play it cautiously and get it out.
So the goal is Chazon from Whitney and Eakin. And that allows us to get to our keys of the game, brought to you by Budweiser. Great games are waiting.
For the Calgary Flames, there's no I in team. They've got to play as a team. They've got to pull together on a road trip like this and finish it strong. This morning, talking to the coaching staff and to the players, all with Dallas, they haven't played a full 60 minutes this year. They played 2 periods, a period and a half, 2.5 periods. They want to make this commitment here tonight for a full 60 minutes.
As Lindy Ruff looks on, long time, and I mean long time head coach of the Buffalo Sabres. Finds himself here in Big D, part of the revamping of the entire front office. Jim Mill, formerly of the Detroit Red Wings, now the general manager, former Flame Joe Nieuwendyk out as GM. O'Brien chasing it, can't come up with it. And again, the Stars are buzzing in the Calgary end. Mike Camilleri. Cross ice. Here's big Chris Breen, his second National Hockey League game. He'll dump it in. Ari Lettman. That one rattles off the head of Yuri Hudler, but Colborne is there. Now in the slot, Camilleri trying to place one, and that one went wide. Butler catches up to it. Colborne picks it up. And Camilleri goes to the front of the net. Cross ice pass. Butler shoots, tipped in front. And there to get it is Jordy Benn. Nichushkin can't get it out, kept in. Brody. That one's tipped. Down after is Jackman. Tim Jackman. Come up with it. Nichushkin is there. Colborne, dogged determination, knocks it away. Lance Boma with the puck.
A little bit of ice time, a little bit of responsibility. Joe Colborne has really responded to that challenge from Bob Hartley, and it's going to make it hard for him to keep him off the ice.
That's Boma in the corner, battling with Dillon. Boma. As Dillon knocks him down. They would have seen a lot of each other in the Western Hockey League. Boma, the captain of the Vancouver Giants, and Dillon, the former Seattle Thunderbird. Antoine Roussel for Fiddler. Colborne is there. Fiddler trying to find some room. Squeezes by Butler. Gets some help. As McDermott was there momentarily, but it's Calgary away with it. Stempniak trying to get around Dillon. Chops it to the far side, staging after it. Glencross is there. Back to Stempniak, back to Glencross at the side of the net. This was supposed to be Calgary's top line to start the season, but in Washington, game number 1, that staging got hurt. Shot kicked away by Lettinen. Rebound, Stempniak's there. Puck bouncing around. Calgary gaining a little momentum. Staging back to the point. Weidman shot and Lettinen kept it out. Now Dallas will get it out in the neutral zone and a race for it. In all alone, Ramo with the save. Oh, and it's fired wide by Rich Peverly. Peverly just blew by Chris Russell. And it goes back and forth.
Good shifts there by the Flames. Back-to-back shifts. Perry Lettinen's had to make 4 good saves through deflection and through a screen.
Now one shot in, Lettinen will hold on to it. Dallas get an early goal. Calgary down by 1. It's Telus Flames hockey. Fences at both ends, Charlie.
Chris Russell gets his first shot blocked, gets the second one through. Stempniak with a nice follow-up on that, and Perry Lettinen making another save. He's made 3 good saves down through a screen. The puck turns over. Peverly comes back up the ice. Russell, good angle on him. And they stayed with it. Looked like that second opportunity might have just caught a piece of that post.
Calgary buzzing around Lettinen's net. Michael Backlund with it. Has some room to operate, but blocked off by Gonchar. Let's play it back to the point. There's Butler. Backlund chipping it off the boards. Gonchar acquired from the Ottawa Senators this summer and then quickly re-signed to a 2-year, $10 million extension. It's a lot of money for a 39-year-old defenseman. But Gonchar last year proving it in Ottawa, he's still got the offense.
Well, they're trying to replace a lot of offense from another defenseman that had a pretty good career down here in Zubov. That type of similar type of player, power play and that leadership. But I agree with you, at that age, that's a lot of money to be given up.
Monahan after the puck. Kept in, neat play by Hudler. Jordy Benn takes it away for Dallas. Out to the neutral zone. There's Whitney. Hudler finds his man Camilleri. Trying to make a move on Daly. Turns around, the pass errant. Cody Eakin jumps on it. Eakin waiting for some help. finds Chiasson, who's open to scoring in this game, but the pass didn't quite connect. Monahan, nice play there to take the puck away momentarily for Calgary. Eakin waiting at the blue line to bring it back in. Glenn Cross has it to Russell. Over to Weidman. Flames make a change. Matt Stajan will dump it into a corner. Stempniak gives chase. Stempniak ties up his man. Glenn Cross there as well. Robidas, though, gets it to Dillon. Dillon for Dallas out to center, and Shane O'Brien picks it up. Over to Chris Breen. Dillon back over to Robidas. Robidas lead pass up to Sean Horcoff, gains the line. Flames close the play, and the 24-year-old from Uxbridge, Ontario, Chris Breen, breaks it up for Calgary.
Chris Breen having his first National Hockey League game the other night in Phoenix. 7 minutes and 2 seconds of ice time.
For help finding the best tires for your vehicle and your budget, talk to Cal during our Don't Wait for Winter sale, featuring the Michelin LTX Winter. Sale ends November 2nd.
Calgary falling behind early in this one, 1-0, but Charlie had stormed back. Shots even at 5 apiece. They're getting some chances.
And sometimes it takes a little bit of rude awakening, like a goal against you, a couple bad shifts in a row, maybe some barking from the coaches on the staff. But this is the type of thing you have to learn as a team, is to make sure that you're ready for the drop of the puck.
Anaheim last played on Sunday. They lost 6-3. Or pardon me, Dallas last played on Sunday in Anaheim. They lost 6-3 to the Ducks. Since then, the Flames played twice, Monday and Tuesday, LA and Phoenix respectively. Ben going to cut to the net, and Brody takes it off his stick. TJ Brody finding Tim Jackman back in the lineup tonight. Jackman hustling in on Connaughton, gets a shot in on Kari Lehtinen. He just blocked that away. Back to the point, Butler keeping it in. Hits Backlund with the shot, and Rich Peverly with it. Again, back to Connaughton, up to Peverly. And to go wide on Weidman, and he'll drop it. Eakin shot blocked in front. That's something Calgary continues to do. Third in the National Hockey League coming into this game. 162 blocks. Only Edmonton and Vancouver have blocked more shots than the Flames.
Getting right in the shooting lane, so important. And they attack defensively from that position, so they're not only able to block the shot, but they're able to very quickly turn that into an offensive play.
Goes to the boards. Picked up by Eakin. He gains the line. Dillon jumping into the play, going to the net, but the Flames get it out. Whitney now forced to defend. This one's going to roll all the way back towards Lehtinen, but Whitney is there. And the man they call the Wizard dumps it down the ice. No icing, smart play, put it right in front of the Flames bench, so that was waved off.
Well, a big line change going on by the Flames at that point. So, yes, I agree with you. Nobody's touching that puck.
Absolutely. Hoodler in the corner. Gets it out. Yuri Hoodler back to the point. Green shot in. Doesn't make it all the way. It hits Daly. And it's chopped out. Shane O'Brien to Hoodler. Quickly. Back onto the stick of Sean Monahan. He's staying. Found out yesterday. Gets his own rebound. And this one rolls back to Kari Lehtinen. And Monahan says, you know, I don't really like it, Jordy Ben, when you get in my way. Flames down by a goal here at the American Airlines Center. It's TELUS Flames Hockey.
Healthy scratch for the second time this season is Sven Baertschi. Earlier today, Hartley suggesting that Sven needs to continue working on his 3-zone game. As for Baertschi himself, he addressed the media briefly after the end of his long skate when practice was concluded. Mildly surprised with this, but admits his game needs some work and some effort. But he was a little surprised at what Bob Hartley had to do and say earlier in the morning.
Well, let's face it, you never want to get out of the lineup, especially when you start look at the chemistry between Baertschi and Stempniak. But when players start to come back in the lineup like Jones and Stajan, you've got to work extra hard to keep your ice time.
Jordy Ben over to Trevor Daly. He's watched by Curtis Glencross. Now Ben, long pass tipped in. Kari Ramo shouting out some instructions to TJ Brody. Butler gets to Glencross, and Glencross, his pass bounces off Sean Horcoff and all the way back down to Dallas end. Horcoff picks it up. Can't get it by Glencross. He'll play it back into the slot, but Nichushkin is there, and now it's Eric Cole. Nichushkin. Taken away, Stempniak finds Russell. Over to Dennis Weidman into the middle. Here's Michael Backlund. Protecting the puck. Playing his options, but Tyler Seguin forced him on the play. And now Nichushkin ahead. Russell. Weidman. Shot 7-5 in favor of the Flames, but an early goal by Chazon. And Dallas up 1-0 here in the first period. TJ Galliardi trying to battle for it in there with Connaughton. Puck comes free and Ben out to center. A little give and go with Rich Peverly. Back to Ben. Trying to go through the defense as Chris Breen got up close and personal with the captain of the Dallas Stars, Jamie Benn.
Talk about strong power forward right there, and that's a big move to go right up through the gut.
Onto the stick of Seguin, but he couldn't handle it. Picking it up is Boma. Now Brody. Up the middle, looking for Boma. The pass by him, and Dylan reaches the half wall first.
Healthy Jamie Benn is good news for the Dallas Stars. Right here you can see not afraid to go the interior of the ice where there's always a lot of contact, yet still follows through, continues with the play, and still tries to make a play after he gets his own puck in behind the net. So those are the dangerous guys on the ice that everybody has to identify early when they come over the bench.
My apologies to Chris Breen. That was Chris Butler. But you can see where I'd make that mistake. With Breen being 6'7" and Butler being 6'1". It's easy guys to mix up.
Only off by half a foot.
Stars trying to come up with it. Shane O'Brien finds Joe Colburn. Colburn out to center, still with the puck. Goes wide on Robidas. Now he'll hold up. Colburn. Nice job to get it back to the point, but it skipped on 6'7" Chris Breen, who comes all the way back down into his own end to pick it up.
An example of using your body and your reach to your advantage. Joe Colburn now a lot more confident, especially in the offensive zone, holding on to that loose puck.
Kari Lehtinen missed the last 5 games, back out there. I believe it was a groin injury. We're happy to have him back. Dennis Weidman in his own end. Gives it away, Vern Fiddler into the slot, but Roussel couldn't hang on to it. Stars keep it onside though. McDermott behind the net. Fiddler with it. Plays it into traffic, gets it back, still with the puck. And it's popped up into the air. Jordy Ben has it blocked by Mike Camilleri, who got down. Now Fiddler turns around in traffic. That made it all the way through to Kari Ramo, but it's Yuri Hudler with it, being pestered by Roussel. Now Weidman for Calgary. Onto the stick of Mike Camilleri. He pokes it in. Camilleri held up on his way to the puck, but finds it down below the goal line. Russell pinching in. Won't get to it. Stajan will. His pass by Shane O'Brien. Nichushkin, the 18-year-old rookie for Dallas, in checking on O'Brien, and it's the Stars with the puck. Shot just wide. Eric Cole. Was all set up by a nice play by Nichushkin. Glenn Cross to Stajan. It's whipped off his stick by Robidas. Stefan Robidas can't get it out. Kept in. Stempniak battling with Dylan. They've had a real back and forth going on since the drop of the puck. Russell tips it over top of the net in a bid for his first goal as a Flame. Chris Russell's not afraid to get involved offensively, is he?
He's not, and he's not at a liability when he jumps in because of his skating ability. He's able to get back defensively.
Matt Stajan calls for the puck, tips it in. Stars making a change. Calgary trying to make them pay. Stempniak turns, tips it into Glenn Cross. Connaughton flips it over top of Matt Stajan, and Jamie Benn is away. Working one-on-one with TJ Brody, but Brody not buying what Ben was selling. Now TJ Galliardi intercepting a pass, busting across the line. Galliardi with the wraparound, and that hit Lehtinen's pad, went up, and Galliardi's hurt. They get back into the play off the blocker of Kari Lehtinen. Now David Jones. He made his return to the Flames lineup Tuesday night in Phoenix. Jones, a penalty coming up.
Nice to see him in the lineup. Not looking good in the airplane yesterday.
Gagliardi going to the net. Extra attacker on the way out for Calgary. Hoodler has it at the point. Penalty to Dallas upcoming. Brody off the wall. Backlund. Cross ice. Gagliardi is there. He's been out for a while. He'll dump it to the corner, and Chris Butler in deep, and it's touched by Peverley. And the Flames will get the first power play of this game, trailing Dallas by 1. As TJ Gagliardi trying to make something happen for his team, and sometimes you got to pay a price.
In the penalty box, his first National Hockey League penalty for holding. David Jones picking that loose puck up behind the offensive net, keeps his feet moving, and the lanky defenseman just reaching around at that point. Foot speed, that's what you need when you're doing a defensive play like that. That time Connaughton got caught flat-footed.
With no Mark Giordano in the lineup, the Flames choosing to go with 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. They did that in Phoenix. They were 0 for 3 with a man advantage against the Coyotes. The first power play of this game, Mike Camilleri slaps it down low to Hoodler. Back up to Camilleri, looking for Wideman. He'll go to the middle instead. It's Sean Monahan. That one is a pass back to Wideman, but a little bit too far.
I want to make it too fancy here on a first power play on the road. Get back to basics. They wanted to get that early shot to Wideman, get one through and see what happens. It fortunately was not right on the stick.
Stars get to the puck and play it up off the glass, so the face-off will stay inside the offensive zone.
Dennis Wideman, the workhorse, number 2 in the league as far as total ice time behind Ryan Suter, and as of late it's even more than that. For the last 5 games, he's over 29 minutes a night on the ice. And of course, with Mark Giordano not in the lineup, it's going to hover around that 30-minute mark quite often.
Camilleri fakes the shot. Monahan takes a swipe at it. Puck bounces to Hoodler. Nifty pass to Camilleri, to Wideman. No lane. Peverley right on top of Wideman. Now Hoodler is Camilleri, the lone man back at the point. Hoodler can't negotiate the pass from Monahan. He's tied up into the corner as Peverley had all of it. Camilleri shoots and Lettinen stops that. Puck knocked down out of the air by Horcoff. Flames come up with it. Hoodler to Wideman. Wideman's shot goes off a stick up over top of the mesh.
Quick hesitant there on that one opportunity, and what he's trying to do there, he's got the puck and you say, why aren't you shooting on Lettinen at that point? He's got to allow a screen to start to develop in front of the Dallas Star goaltender, because not too many players can beat a goalie of that quality if he can see that puck leave the stick.
Just one shot so far on the power play, 51 seconds to go. Joe Colburn out now on this second unit as he centers a line of Lee Stempniak, David Jones, Brody and Russell, the point men. A little reward for Joe Colburn. He's had a very good road trip. You talked about that earlier in this period, and he has the puck now. And to go wide, does on Jordy Ben. Puck comes back to TJ Brody. Back to Colburn. He finds Russell. Brody at the point. Stempniak lets it go through. Colburn comes up with it. 15 seconds to go in Calgary's first power play. Russell to Stempniak. Good puck movement, but nothing to show for it in terms of scoring chances. Now a shot, and that one's turned away by Kari Lettinen. And it's shot down the ice. Chiasson got to it, and that will do it for the first power play. Calgary 0 for 1 with a man advantage.
Hesitant on the shots. That's something that the Flames will want to make adjustment to, and some pretty good passing. Not a lot of great passing to the stick. Bouncing puck.
Passing it into Wideman. As you mentioned, a bouncing puck, and Wideman couldn't get it. He's frustrated by that, as Lettinen will hang on to it, and another face-off coming up in the Dallas end.
Sometimes the ice and warm weather areas will be a little bit soft, which will force the puck to bounce. That one was just a soft aerial pass that didn't get down on the ice quick enough as Wideman was trying to knock it down. And when you're flying through the net at that speed, not a lot of time to get that puck down and get the shot off.
Wideman. Shot makes it through, but it goes just a little bit to the outside of where Wideman wanted to put it. A lot of traffic in front, though. Wideman awaiting. Pass. Backlund goes up to pick it up out of the air. And the big hit as Dillon knocks Backlund down. Well, Brendan Dillon's been a wrecking ball here in the first period for Dallas. Robidoux along the boards. Butler, nice play to keep it in. Gagliardi to the net. Tipped in As Boma looking for his second of the year.
Really? Better than Sidney Crosby? Find out why scouts say that Connor McDavid's the best prospect in a generation. Subscribe now to Sportsnet Magazine at sportsnet.ca/magazine.
Can't wait to read that copy. Of course, Connor McDavid, one of the players you'll see this year on Friday Night Hockey, Friday Night CHL Hockey on Sportsnet. Looking forward to the return of that.
It's got to go a long ways if he's going to be better.
But it makes good copy.
It really does, and there's so many good young Canadian players coming up in the junior ranks. It'll be fun and interesting to see. If that happens, it only makes everything a lot better.
Lee Stempniak drops it, staging, fires it towards the net, and never made it there. Dallas, a lot of bodies in front of Kari Lehtinen every time Calgary gets a chance. Glencross trying to get it out of the corner. He's battling with Trevor Daley. Stempniak is there. Russell shoots right at the end of the period. It goes off a body. Don't know if he would have beat the whistle or not, but the Flames with a flurry to end the first period.
Welcome back to Dallas, where we played 20 minutes and the Stars enjoy a 1-0 lead over the Calgary Flames. Sportsnet Radio 960 The Fan is the Flames warm-up pregame show 1 hour before each game, hosted by Pat Steinberg. And a reminder, the Flames in partnership with Calgary Co-op present Flames Fest this Sunday at Scotiabank Saddledome from 11 to 4 p.m. hosted by our own Rob Kerr. Be part of the celebration as the club unveils third jersey. Receive autographs from the players. Take in Hockey Talk session with Brian Burke along with much more. Plus all fans in attendance will receive 25% off all third jersey merchandise. Tickets are $8 a person and are limited, so get yours today. For more information on how you can be part of the big unveiling, visit CalgaryFlames.com.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the only problem, though, Charlie, is that I'm going to have to interview Brian Burke, and it's a hard guy to get, answer questions.
You better make a long list of questions, because the short answers that Brian likes to throw out there. No, that's a great opportunity for the fans to get out and get to hear what's happening with the Calgary Flames. And I was only kidding. Brian Burke, great interview, great hockey man. It should be very exciting for everybody.
Plus the new third jerseys, they will be unveiled. Of course, the Dallas Stars wearing a new look this year. Same green as the Boston Celtics. As this one's going to come all the way back down into Calgary territory on the icing call.
Sean Horkoff enjoying his short time down in Dallas so far after all those great many years up in Edmonton. I think the winters will be a little bit more enjoyable for him down here.
796 games as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Dallas with a 1-0 lead as we begin here in the second period, and they start the second like they started the first, which is down in the Calgary end. But as that first wore on, Charlie, the Flames seem to get some real good pushback and some real good offensive zone time.
They had great opportunities offensively, controlled the puck in the offensive zone, promised to find a way to beat Kari Lehtinen, who has played very well in his time here in Dallas since coming over from Atlanta.
Lehtinen 6-3-2 lifetime against the Calgary Flames as a member of both the Dallas Stars and the Atlanta Thrashers. Bob Hartley knows him very well, his coach in Atlanta. Is another icing call coming up to Calgary.
You're on the road trip, you want to have a lot of your top players scoring goals. Unfortunately for the Flames, a little bit of a drought. Curtis Glencross only 1 goal in his last 7. Michael Backlund, a lot of good effort out there, lots of assists, but only 1 goal in the 6 games that he's the last 6. And of course Sven Baertschi, who is not dressed tonight, 1 goal in his last 9 games, 1 goal on the season. Plus player. And sometimes it's good to sit upstairs in an opportunity like this to figure out how the game is played and what you need to do to make changes.
Monahan after it for Calgary, but it's Whitney with it. He's checked by Glencross. Hoodler looking for the puck, trying to tip it ahead to Monahan. He'll come in and help. And it's Chris Russell back to get it. Yuri Hoodler points in all 9 Flames games so far this season as the Flames gain the line. Weidman to the middle looking for Hoodler. And Camilleri after. Blocked off. Hoodler chopping at it. And it's fired right up the middle. No icing as Russell gets a little help from Kyramo. mentioned Ramo never played the Dallas Stars as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning in his previous incarnation in the NHL, so this is new for him. There's Mike Camilleri. Tries to play it, but Sean Horcoff, who cuts it off. Machushkin, I should say. We got a little bit of a lesson today on how to properly pronounce his name, and still trying to wrap my tongue around it. Eric Cole, that's simple enough. He's back to the point. Connaughton, that big, heavy shot, and that is the MO on Kevin Connaughton. The Vancouver Canucks draft pick has a big-time NHL shot. Machushkin, that wasn't bad either. That one just goes wide. Now Weidman protecting it. Flips it ahead, and Backlund turns. Dumps it out to center. Flames will make a change. That line's been out there for a while. Backlund forced to stay out to allow the wingers to get off. Gonchar ahead to Vern Fiddler. Cross ice. Cole gives it up. Back onto the stick of Backlund. Shot. That one whistles wide. Chris Breen off the bench. Jones lets it roll. Backlund's dog tired. He knows he's supposed to go chase the puck, but he gets off instead.
You get caught chasing defensively, and that's the thing the Flames have to keep an eye on when they end up chasing for a whole half or a half of a shift. Gets up offensively. You've got to be smart on your line changes.
Jones bumped in along the boards. And Fiddler will dump it in again. After it, McDermott. Gagliardi fighting off a check, but couldn't hit Colborne with the pass, and Dillon going to spin it back into Calgary territory. And whistle goes. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
We'd like to remind you Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Kraft Peanut Butter.
A little bit of a rarity so far in this season. The Flames found themselves in the first period on the plus side in the faceoff circle, winning 53% of the draws. Calgary get it out. Dillon pounding it back in. Ramo knocks it down. Chris Butler is there. To Colborne, 23-year-old from Calgary, flips it ahead. TJ Brody into the glove of Kari Lehtinen. He'll hang on. Now, face-offs have been an issue, Charlie. We've talked about it on the broadcast all year.
You look at the younger centermen, Monahan, Colborne, guys that will struggle early. They're going to learn how to do have the process going against the top players. But Backlund, Stage, and Mike Camilleri is doing a lot better, and Jones as wingers coming in on their strong side on the backhand. But these are little tiny battles that on the power play, penalty killing. You have possession of the puck, you can make things happen, and you have the possession by winning faceoffs.
Flames win a draw here as Matt Stajan got it, but it's eventually grabbed by the Stars and they get it out. Chris Russell knocks it down. I guess add to that is just how much Sean Monahan's taking draws. He took more draws than any other player in Phoenix. He took more draws than any other player in that first period here in this game. So he's getting the workload. Now it's just a matter of getting the percentage up.
It's one thing that they work on after every practice.
Look at the side of the net. Chason already with a goal in this game, cruising through the crease. That one's deflected to the boards. Cody Eakin has it. Weidman cuts it off. Stajan ahead. Stempniak gives chase. Glenn Cross trying to catch up. Stempniak with room to the net. Scores! Oh, a rocket from Lee Stempniak ties this game at 1.
All starts with just trying to take the pressure away from the Dallas Stars in the defensive zone. Good read right here. It's going to be a nice chip up the boards. As Weidman reaches very quickly, he gets there quickly, stage it up the boards to Stempniak, and then off to the races. Some direction there by the defenseman. As you can look at Daly, say, take that guy. But from that point on, staging with his head up, Leighton goes down very quickly, trying to cover as much of the net as possible, and this one's just a perfect shot underneath the bar.
So Lee Stempniak picking up his 4th of the year. Machushkin going to the net. People here in Dallas saying he's really starting to create more, the rookie. Picked up his first point in the loss in Anaheim on Sunday. So Calgary tying it up in the second. Shot goes wide. Hudler trying to tip it by Dylan. Borkoff keeping it alive. It rolls all the way to Chris Butler. And Butler, as Camilleri chips it out. Robidoux back to Eric Cole. Butler hits him. Nichushkin, shot goes off a leg. Down in the corner, it's Butler. Stepniak is fourth from Stajan and Weidman, so Matt Stajan picks up his first point of the season in just his second game. No icing. Robidoux back to get it. Monahan couldn't knock it down, and here come the Stars. Roussel on the backhand. Goes for the big loop. Ramo has it under his belly. And now we've got bodies everywhere. Mike Camilleri, little bulldogging action.
Again, you try to look for that loose puck and try to take advantage of it, but a big save there by Ramo. As the play gets a broken play right here. Goes Roussel all the way around, slid it right in front, was right underneath the belly. As you mentioned of Ramo at that point, right there, falls down on top of it. McDermott comes in and really tries to poke the goaltender and that loose puck through it. Fiddler comes in. Great look at Lee Stepniak. This is a goal scorer's look right here. Head up, waits, hesitates, and as Lehtnin's going down, he just roofs it.
It's not the first time we've seen Lee Stempniak scoring off that right wing. And Stempniak now with points in 5 consecutive games. Seen a lot of praise and a lot of trust from Bob Hartley this season, has Lee Stempniak.
He's taken a lot of responsibility upon himself too, as far as a more complete round, all-around player, especially when the young players are involved.
Here's David Jones. Don't remember the Colorado Avalanche dumping it in, Lehtinen out to hold it. Jones trying to take it away, but he gets it to Sergei Gonchar. Gonchar's pass ahead to Roussel. Tyler Seguin into Calgary territory, shot over top of the net. Connaughton keeping it alive, bounced off the backboards, and Weidman is there. Weidman feeling some pressure. Russell comes in, and he gets a little help with the line. TJ Gagliardi flipping it through the air. Bounces in on Daly. Now Russell steps up. Nice play to keep it alive. 3-on-2 for Calgary. Russell shot wide of the net, and looking for the rebound was Stempniak. Quite the Karen play that we sometimes see from teams. Brody shot, makes it through, and it's blockered away easily by Kari Lehtinen. Stempniak loses it. Peverly has Tyler Seguin. Former Bruin to the net, and Kari Ramo gets his stick on it. That one's in the glove of Ramo, and he's going to hang on. Calgary tying it up here in the second period. It's the red-hot Lee Stempniak doing the damage. Telus Flames hockey.
UFC Fight Night on Sportsnet 360. Machida and Munoz, Saturday, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. It comes from Manchester, England. Rookie players, we've got a couple of dandies, don't we? And this one tonight, Sean Monahan, his numbers speak for themselves. And Alex Chiasson, although he played at the end of last season here with the Dallas Stars, off to a great rookie campaign.
Chiasson out on the ice right now. Second round pick back in 2009 for Dallas. Kick saved by Ramo.
Big player likes to get right to the crease area. Likes to look for rebounds, deflections, uses his body very well.
3 years at Boston University, came out and made quite an impact last season. Poked in, David Jones around his man. Gonchar back to get it. Comes back to the point. Russell walks the line, shoots, and Kari Lehtinen will squeeze that against the body. Lee Stempniak finds the back of the net. We find our next winner. On behalf of Safeway and Kraft Peanut Butter, Greta Corver of Lethbridge has won a men's Bulova Marine Star chronograph watch. So congratulations, Greta.
Congratulations, Lee Stempniak. It's nice to get that equalizer when you're on the road and get your team back into this hockey game. You can see how it emotionally is a lot stronger on the club when they get involved and they can get that goal and they know they can beat the goaltender.
Ben across the line. Shot goes wide. On hand battling Peverly. Far side. Brody absorbs the hit from Ben, gets the puck to the line, and Calgary get it out. Peverley trying to reboot the offense. Nice again. They bump with Camilleri initiating. Brody in there too. TJ Brody will lift it off the glass. Stefan Robida. Funny hop. That didn't go the way anybody anticipated it would, but Ben's there. And his pass by everybody. This will be an icing call when Brody hits the hash marks. TJ Brody this past summer signing a 2-year, they call them bridge contracts. What did they call them when you played? The contract from your entry level to your big time contract. Was it a bridge contract for you, Mr. Simon?
Food on the table.
Food on the table.
That's what it's called. No really bridge contracts back then, because there wasn't really technically any entry level contracts. That usually they were first contracts that weren't a lot of money. So anything after that is a good bridge. But bridge contract gets him from the entry-level contract to the point where he become a free agent.
Probably the best example of a player signing a bridge contract, PK Subban, and what happens? He wins the Norris Trophy. He's got another year on that one deal. That next one's going to be a big one. Robida. There's Dallas now finding himself tied here as the puck goes up. Jackman pointing out, I wonder if he thought maybe it cleared, hit the mesh and stayed in.
Not quite sure, but a big hit on Dylan from Lance Boma.
Dylan's still out there, and he's going to flick it through the air. Bounces right in front of Dennis Wideman. Over to Russell. Lead pass tipped in by Stempniak. That stage in playing his second game of this season. He got hurt in the first game in Washington. Now a chance 3-on-2 for Dallas. On the attack, Horkoff stopped by Ramo. Ramo had that paddle down on the ice, and Nichushkin gets the shot away. Ramo has it. You can see it coming for 43 in green. Nichushkin is really starting to create some chances in this game as Sean Horkoff, his line mate, helping him out.
All started by a stick being lost at that point. Grab another one. This set up the 3-on-2, and that's just a great feed. Horkoff probably wanted to have it back. He had a lot of time, a lot of space, and another missed shot there, right by Nichushkin. Unfortunately for the Flames.
Jordy Benn's point shot blocked by TJ Gagliardi. Jones looking for Backlund. He gets it. Gagliardi back across the line, plays onside. Backlund shot, and Lettinen turns it away, and Backlund ridden into the boards awkwardly by Daly. Looks like he's okay. TJ Gagliardi. This one's tipped up in the air, bounces in front of Trevor Daly. It's back to Chris Butler at the point. Backlund. Side of the net, Jones. Butler. Gagliardi in front of the net. That one whistles just wide. Nichushkin. Boy, he's got a big frame, just 18 years old. It's a March birthday.
Interesting talk after this game as he's playing game 8.
Hoodler can't control the pass. Camilleri robbed! Was it the goalie? Was it the defenseman? As Hoodler somehow found Mike Camilleri, and that puck stayed out. Ari Lettinen sprawled out, but there were some defensive bodies in front as well. The Dallas Stars dodge a bullet. Calgary, good forecheck. They get the puck back. Hoodler down low, goes back to the point. Shane O'Brien. Now on the backhand of the net. Lettinen with one save, and Sean Monahan parked right at the top of the crease. Quickly got the rebound. There's Cody Eakin. Things picking up a little. Chase on, cross ice pass, knocked down. Chris Breen after it. Breen gives it away. In front, Whitney. Chase on scores! His second of the game. Puck it, no! It looked like it was in. Lead pass for Camilleri. The fans are celebrating, and Lettinen wants the stoppage in play so they can review it.
We're going to have a look at it. I think this one caught the center bar, but the referee had waved it off very quickly. Just a bad defensive play by the Flames in their own zone to cause that turnover after they had control of it. And it's Chris Breen, just his second game in the league, and that's when you have to keep it simple and keep it basic at that point.
Take a look at the replays, Charlie. This should give us the evidence. Yeah, that looks like it's in, doesn't it?
As Chiasson's down. Yeah, off the shoulder. And then catches Ramel's shoulder. He gets across to get part of the save. That's inside the net.
Little doubt about that one. And the Stars regain the lead here in the second period, 2-1. And Whitney again with an assist. As Alex Chiasson, who had 3 goals in 3 games to start the season and then was dry for 5 games, didn't find the back of the net, has 2 in this one. His 5th on the season.
This is where we talk about having control of the puck. Right here, slipping up the boards, and instead of going up the boards, he tried to angle it. And Whitney standing right there. That's just too much experience. At that point, Sergei Gonchar with a big save. As we talked about, a wide open net for Mike Camilleri. And the veteran defenseman made the save. How often do you see that? One in, big save. They come back down and they score. Peverley now. Shot scores! Ben, 3-1 Dallas. Dallas taking advantage of some poor defensive play by the Flames. As you look at this last goal coming through, there's enough white jerseys left down there to take a man right here. The puck will start from the defensive zone. Quick chip up the ice. 1, 2, 3 jerseys. Here comes the 4th white jersey. Nobody picks up Ben, the most dangerous guy coming down that left wing. And that's when you have to have your head on a swivel. Peverley with a nice feed at that point. Brody, who was up the ice, was the lone man coming back, but there were still enough jerseys in the white color to try and help out defensively. Goals 18 seconds apart have caused Bob Hartley to call a timeout here. As a period that started off very much in favor of Calgary has now turned right back in Dallas's favor. And a couple of mistakes at key spots on the ice, Charlie, and that has been a problem at times for the Flames this season. And it's total concentration. This is just a mistake caused by trying to do too much. And that's what the coaching staff has said. Yes, you want to be aggressive. You want to try and make things happen on the ice defensively and offensively, but you've got to be smart when you do it. This is just not a lack of effort on the penalty, on the back check. This is just missed coverage. So Alex Chiasson and then Jamie Benn. Chiasson's goal is 5th of the year from Whitney at 11-11, then at 11-29, Ben from Peverley. Believe it or not, it's just Jamie Benn's 2nd goal of this season. And he now has points in 5 consecutive games. How do the Calgary Flames respond? We're about to find out. Stay basic. And if there's only one assist to Peverley, you'll probably see one go to the goaltender, Lettman, too, as he's the guy that threw it up the boards. Harry Lettman indeed does get the 2nd assist. Now a chance. Here's Ben. In, shoots. Glove saved by Ramo, and he'll hang on to it. The Flames fall behind quickly by 2 here in the second period. It's TELUS Flames Hockey.
Canadian Pacific Goals for Kids is proudly sponsored by Canadian Pacific and its 2,700 railroaders based in Calgary. For every Flames goal this season, the Railway will donate $250 to Kids Sport and the Flames Even Strength program. Keep scoring, Flames, and help CP build stronger kids and scoring stronger communities.
Dallas led 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Lee Stempniak tied the game at 4:30 here in the second, but goals 18 seconds apart have put the Dallas Stars up by a 2-1 score, and they're looking for more as they are buzzing around Kari Ramo right now.
You get that momentum going your way. You want to continue to ride that wave and take advantage of it. Just get back to basic hockey here. They are getting opportunities when they get into the offensive zone. It's probably the biggest negative for Dallas right now is their defensive core.
They score! Tipped on the way in. Nichushkin may have picked up his first NHL goal.
We talked about the little battles at the end of that first period, and one of them is the face-offs. There's one more than they'd lost. This one right back to the point to Dillon. He lets it go in a hurry, and it's redirected by Nichushkin or by Brody's stick. because it did change direction. Rambo lost it, and it went in between the pads.
Charlie, that's 3 Dallas goals in 1 minute and 1 second. And the Flames, who had tied this game at 1, are now trailing it 4-1. What a turn of events here in the second period as Russell tries to turn it back in the Flames' favor. He goes in behind the net, still with it. Nichushkin will play it back to the point. Weidman's there, and he hit Jones in the back with the puck. Good work by Gagliardi to dig it free. Trying to get it back out in front. So 3 goals in 1 minute and 1 second for the Dallas Stars. Now Weidman taken to the end boards and knocked down by Jordy Ben. No call coming, and Weidman slow to get up. Referee watched the whole thing. Weidman heading off. Calgary still with the puck, and Dennis Weidman none too happy about how that whole play unraveled. Now Russell steps up, his pass onto the stick of Curtis Glencross, shoots, Lettinen knocked it down. Jordy Ben will play it ahead to Ryder. What a different feel this game has right at this moment. Calgary battling back, seeming not in control, but certainly pressing. And the Dallas Stars burning them for 3 goals in just over a minute. And that one tipped up by Kari Lettinen into the mesh.
Rob will have another look at that hit by Ben on Weidman. Weidman's going in to get that puck. Concentrate on his left skate. As he digs in right here, he loses an edge, and that leg pulled is underneath him at an awkward angle, and that way he wasn't able to protect himself and use his legs as strength. He is in a little bit of a hurt right there. Plus, he thought a little bit of barking at the referee on the way to the bench.
So the 4th goal for the Dallas Stars. Right now it's Brendan Dillon's goal, his 3rd of the year, with the assist going to Sean Horkoff. There's Joe Colborne out to take the draw for Calgary. It's won by Dallas. Stars now out shooting the Flames 23-19 in the game. Big picture thinking, this is one of those points where you really test the team. What do you have? What's your character like? Now a fight. Chris Breen. And he's got McDermott, Lane McDermott. There's Breen trying to get those rights free. Chris Breen, all 6-7 of them. Now McDermott popping off some rights of his own. Looks like Breen's waiting to land the big one.
He's trying to outreach him at that point with the helmet off, trying to pick his spot from toe to toe. Now some big hammers are coming from Breen. You mentioned that reach that he has. Gloves came off. Oh, there it is.
He was waiting on that one, wasn't he?
McDermott missed with that big overhead, and that's when you come in with the big hammer.
Just the 2nd fight of the season for the Calgary Flames. Their first was in game number 1. Lance Boma fighting Tom Wilson. As we'll see how this all gets started.
Top of the face-off circle, a little bit of a cross-check at that point, a little pushing and shoving. And it was like, okay, time to go. Dermott was kind of aggressive early in this period around the goaltender. And this is where the youngster in his first game, or second game, Breen utilizes his reach and his size. Second game, as we mentioned, first one in Phoenix, 15 shifts, 7:02 in ice time, 1 block shot.
I know the organization, as they develop Chris Breen, he's been down, in Abbotsford since 2010, the spring of 2010. They worked on him. He's become meaner. He's become tougher to play against. He is an imposing presence for that size.
Well, it's being comfortable in that role. That's a tough role to just try and throw somebody into. They have to have it in them, and they have to have that ability.
An icing call, and this one appears to be coming all the way back down into the Flames' end. It's Chris Breen cooling his heels for 5 minutes.
And that's part of the game right there. And unfortunately, when you're 6'7", they're going to be asked on it to do a lot more. But it's a momentum changer, too. It's a 4-1 game. 3 quick goals by Dallas. So what you're trying to do is get your team revved up and slow down the Stars with a situation like that.
Robidoux will just throw it in behind the net. Here's TJ Brodie looking for it. Tyler Seguin has it taken away by Brodie. Hudler gets it out. It's offside if the Stars touch it. They do. And the Flames are asking for an offside here as the Flames down by 3 here in Big D.
BPL English Soccer on Saturday. We have 3 matches beginning at 5:30 a.m. First place Arsenal visiting Crystal Palace on the main channels, followed by West Brom, and third place Liverpool at 7:30 a.m. also on the main channels. And at the same time on Sportsnet World, it's Norwich City hosting Cardiff City.
So Calgary back on their heels here in the second period. They give up 3 goals in 1 minute and 1 second of time. A fight involving Chris Breen and Lane McDermott. See what Calgary can do with just over 5 minutes to go in the second. Ray Whitney, a pair of assists in this game. Gets it back to Cody Eakin. Zubov plays it to the middle. Eakin covering up for Zubov. Has the puck. He'll go low. Chason, 2 goals. Has the puck. His pass, errant, and back out in the neutral zone. Iramo staying the puck behind the net. And Weidman back out. Good to see Dennis Weidman. He took a tumble in the corner, kind of got knocked awkwardly down in the Dallas end a couple of moments ago, but he's back out there. TJ Gagliardi trying to corral the puck. Ben hits the side of the net. Backlund bumps his man. Flames get the puck back at the point. Russell in traffic, whips it wide. And Backlund. Gagliardi takes a check from Ben, and Weidman will keep it in. A lot of room for Weidman, so he'll just flip it deep, and Calgary making a full line change. Dallas is going to change some players as well.
4.5 to go here in the second period. Flames need to find a way to build up some momentum, carry it on into the third period. A little stronger on those loose pucks, though.
Back at the point, Eric Cole tipped on his way through, but didn't make it to the crease. Brody Ben. Right up along the boards by Butler. Flames get it. Stempniak trying to get the pass from Glenn Cross, or pardon me, from Stajan. Glenn Cross out there as well. Stempniak gains the line. He has a lone Flames goal in this one. Glenn Cross trying to work around Horkoff. Stajan gets to the puck. He'll go back to the point, but he missed Butler, and the Flames retreat.
Just a little bit off in tonight's game, whether it's the passing, offsides, hitting. Kari Lehtinen, this is the mainstay for Dallas. If he's not in between the pipes, they have struggled greatly. And you can see with his goals against average, his saves percentage, and he's getting over 3 goals in support. Tonight he's got a luxury. He's up to 4.
And he picked up an assist on Jamie Benn's 3rd Dallas goal, 2nd of the year for Ben, and that is his 18th career assist. He has 13 of them here in Dallas. He set a Dallas record back in 10-11 with 6 assists. And I find it hard to believe that he set a record with this team having once Marty Turco on the roster.
Well, Turco really could move that puck.
Puck played ahead. Gary Hudler across the line. Monahan looking for it. Hudler drops it to Camilleri. Monahan can't get the shot through. Hudler off the crossbar. Camilleri back out in front. Russell to Weidman. Top of the circle. That shot's blocked. The Flames will have to hustle as Whitney looking for it. Russell is there. And Calgary came within a hair of getting back in this one.
There's an example of making things happen and not getting frustrated if you don't score. You have to bring now, this next shift has to do just as much as that shift tried to accomplish, and then you're going to get the chances.
Stefan Robidoux looking ahead. Colburn there for Calgary. Cody Eakin. Over to Brendan Dillon. That's Boma trying to take Dillon out of the play. Can't. Ramo out of the net. Comes back to the red line. Gonchar backpedaling. Gives it up. Picked up by Lance Boma. Boma locked off by Gonchar, trying to make up for a mistake. Can't get it by Weidman. Weidman off the toe of Lance Boma. And here come the Stars. 4-on-2. Whitney. Chiasson looking for the one-timer, shoots, and he missed. Might be thinking about hat trick there. Colborne lifting it through the air. TJ Galliardi's going to try and hunt this one down. Swats at it, but that goes up into the mesh over top of the plexi. And a little more pushing and shoving. There's Shane O'Brien coming in and mixing it up.
This type of player, Shane O'Brien, wants to get involved physically. And when you're down by 3, much like the Chris Breen situation, you want to build up some kind of momentum. Still a lot of hockey left in this hockey game, and this club has had a history. The Flames have coming back from deficits. They did last year, down a couple in the third period. So build up whatever kind of momentum you can, bring it into that locker room.
Shots in this period are 15-9 in favor of Dallas. Take a look at David Jones. Prior to his injury, David Jones really was very noticeable. Now, coming back from an injury, not surprising, hasn't quite had that same impact. Galliardi, his shot goes off of Benn into the corner. It's Jordy Benn, the defenseman, the older of the two Benn brothers. Galliardi plays that one over top of the net. Backlund picks it up. Here's Chris Russell at the point. Russell looking for a lane, can't get it through the blocker. Backlund gets himself out of traffic, but he turned it over. Here's Antoine Roussel. Goes wide on Brody. Separates the man from the puck. Glenn Cross coming over. Robidaw with it. That's blocked by Backlund. Glenn Cross has it. Here come the Flames 3-on-2. Jones, Glenn Cross, and Backlund, but it's deflected into the corner. Jones, at the end of the shift, heads off.
There's that momentum, a couple good opportunities. Dallas right now doing a good job of shutting it down defensively, much like we saw in Phoenix. 5 guys in front of the net.
Brendan Dillon. Here's Jordy Benn back to the point. Nichushkin after Weidman, he sidesteps him. And Weidman out to center, staging, pitchforks it in. Curtis Glencross hustling in on Robidaw. But it's the captain of the Dallas Stars who has it. He distributes the puck to Sean Horcock, dropping it there right onto the stick of Lee Stempniak. Ahead, here's Matt Staging. Camilleri's come over the boards. He shoots, it goes off a body and wide. Horcock picking it up, and he'll spin away, and that will do it. The second period punctuated by 3 goals for Dallas in a span of 1 minute and 1 second. They lead 4-1 heading into the second intermission.
Well, welcome back to Dallas, where the Flames trail the Stars 4-1 after 40 minutes of play. Well, green has been the color in Dallas and for the Stars franchise for quite a long time. Back in Minnesota, it was Kelly green. Then when the Stars moved here in the 90s, it was forest green. Well, we'd like to welcome you to a new kind of green, victory green. That's the color of this team's uniform. In fact, they tell me over 136 color designs were considered by the Stars franchise for their new uniform. That includes red, white, and blue. It includes blue and silver and all sorts of things. At the end of the day, they chose victory green. Of course, it's victory lane here in Dallas, so it goes hand in hand, and other teams may soon be green with envy.
Well, we take a look at tonight's scoring summaries brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago.
First period, Alex Chiasson, his 4th of the year from Whitney and Eakin. Stempniak gets things tied up at 4:30, but what a tough minute and 1 second. Chiasson, Benn, and Dillon all score within a minute and 1 second of each other, and that had Dallas feeling pretty good about themselves at the end of the second period. Face-off still slight advantage to the Flames.
Kari Lehtonen has made it very difficult for the Flames to A, get a lead, or B, get back into this game.
He's getting a little bit of help from his defensemen and his forwards. One off the crossbar by Harry Hoodler, but other than that, he has been very solid since coming back to playing. Missed about 5 games with a groin injury, and that's been his biggest bugaboo as far as injuries.
You take a look at Kari Lehtinen. He played the first 3 games, and then basically Dan Ellis and Jack Campbell. Ellis played most of it. Campbell played Sunday in Anaheim, and the numbers are, well, they tell the story. That's why Kari Lehtinen is the starter here.
You've got to have your top goaltender on the top of this game and healthy, and that will be just so for the Dallas Stars too. They need Kari Lehtinen to be a healthy goaltender and get good quality backup. The backup will be Dan Ellis. As you mentioned, he's been appeared in 4 games this year, 1-3-0. And we talked earlier to some of the players about having your number 1 guy not only playing well, but playing in the ice. And it just seems that the confidence level of the players playing in front of the number 1 guy just seems to be a lot higher.
Last season, actually this year, last season, February 17th, Calgary trailed 3-1 coming into the 3rd period here in Dallas. Stormed back and won 4-3. Much taller task here tonight. Heverly shot, Ramo with the save. Really bizarre kind of statistical anomaly early on for the Dallas Stars. If you take a look at Kari Ramo, I'm not sure if Ramo's going to see a lot of action, Charlie. In 8 games this season, Dallas has scored 1 third period goal, and that came in their first game against Florida back on October 3rd.
Anytime you get 4, you know you want 5, and you're playing in your own building, you want to keep that offense going, and that's something you can't take for granted. I know stats are there, but you've got to put your bootstraps on.
No, it's early in the season. It's just one of those anomalies, but I found it kind of interesting. We'll see what happens here in the 3rd as Rich Peverley trying to keep it alive. Rich Peverley talking to Roger during the intermission about just taking advantage of the opportunities that presented themselves.
Then he also mentioned having the luxury of playing with Tyler Seguin in Boston. That really helps out some chemistry, and that gives Lindy Ruff a little bit more confidence in that number 1 line.
Michael Backlund across the line, puck taken away by Alex Chiasson. 2 goals in the game for Chiasson. And a penalty coming up, and it's going to go against Dallas. So an early 3rd period power play for the Flames. Jay Gagliardi across center. Leaves it for Hoodler. Goes wide. Quick pass to Weidman. It's knocked off his stick by Chiasson, and the penalty comes up. A hooking call.
Well, you talked about the 3rd period scoring by, or lack of it thereof, of the Dallas Stars. Outscored 10-1 in the 3rd period. Flames are 50-50, scored 10, have given up 10. And that's, again, with one of the keys to the game was the 60 minutes for Lindy Ruff. Puck through the middle, across the hands. But in the old days, that was a pretty good back check by Chiasson.
David Jones out to take the draw. Weidman shoots it just wide. That was up on a tee. And Weidman, to pick the corner, just missed.
White on a tee, downhill, downwind for Dennis Weidman. It doesn't come this much better. And this time he just teed it up and missed on the short side as the goaltender, Kari Lehtinen, very aggressive, came out pretty quick to try and cut down that angle, but there's a lot of room there.
And a frustrating evening for Dennis Weidman. Dare I say, a frustrating evening for all of the Flames. But Weidman fell awkwardly in the 2nd period. Looked like he might be a little banged up, but has returned to play. Great opportunity there. 35 to go in Calgary's 2nd power play of this game. They're 0 for 1 so far. Stempniak, his shot into the body of Robidas. And this is not going to make the coaching staff very happy, will it?
Well, you want the intensity when you're on the power play, especially when you get into that offensive zone. You want to have that battle, that mentality of winning every battle for every loose puck.
Russell finds Weidman. Weidman shot over top of the net. Here's Russell coming over. First power play of the game, the Flames chose to go with 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. It doesn't appear that they're going back to that, at least at this moment. They may be now as Camilleri comes over the boards. Glencross, Monahan, Hoodler out there with Russell. So they're back to the 4 forwards. Long shot. Glencross behind the net, slows it down. He'll go to the point. That's TJ Brodie to Camilleri. Hoodler finds Brody. Glencross parked in front, and the pass back to Camilleri, and Rich Peverly was sulking in the area. And a shot by Camilleri, gloved by Lettinen.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Calgary Flames and all the fans who carry a torch for them. Intact Insurance, your back.
Frustrating power play. Pucks aren't getting through the net, to the net. Not seeing rebounds. You're not seeing the intensity that you need to have and the desperation on a power play when you're down by 3.
Puck flipped up in the air. Antoine Roussel, first man on it. Eakin going to the net, but the pass wasn't near him. Hoodler will pick it up. Over to Camilleri. Back to the point, but it comes out. The pass is just not crisp. They're not ticking. They're not finding the tape that they need. As that one bounces away from Glencross, and Lettinen fires it up out of the box. Chiasson, Weidman I don't think saw him. Ben follows up, has the puck, shoots through the glove of Rommel, but wide. Now behind the net, they score! Jamie Benn, 5-1 Dallas.
Got to get that hunger back as far as hunger and desperation for the Calgary Flames. Jamie Benn jumps on this loose puck. Here the numbers come. White jersey's back. Everybody's back trying to cover players. This one just bounces in behind the net. And Rammel is playing the original shot. He's hugging that post as the puck goes behind the net, goes off at a bad angle, and nobody picks up Jamie Benn behind the net. On his backhand, he's got the luxury of a little extra reach when you're on your backhand, and he pulls it very quickly. Backhand, or I should say forehand to the backhand.
So the official having a conversation with the Situation Room in Toronto.
We're checking to see if that post, when Rammel came all the way across, might have jarred the post off its mooring before the puck went in the net. Right there, there's where Rammel, no question here, that's a goal. Got there quick enough. When actually went off the back of the skate and then up into the net.
Charlie, is that another example of that shallower net and being able to bring those pucks back from behind the net quicker?
Well, there was enough room there anyways, but it does make it a lot easier because you feel a little more comfortable. Got a bigger space in there, and I think just feeling comfortable behind the net, that wouldn't have caught any part of the larger net as far as coming off the boards. It just gave a little bit more room for Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn was named the 6th captain in Dallas Stars history this summer, and he has 2 goals in this game. He came in with 1, so he's breaking out of a little bit of an offensive funk. As Jackman dumps it in, it's a 3-point game for Chiasson as he picks up the assist. Jackman spilled at the side of Lettinen's net. Now Gagliardi looking for Jackman in front. I'm not sure he hit it or the defenseman hit it, but it ended up in on Lettinen.
Jackman got a piece of both goals, I think, and that's that hunger and that desperation that you need to have from all 4 lines.
Bonchar ahead to Eric Cole. Out to center. Cole goes wide. Flames travel back to Calgary tonight. They host the Washington Capitals on Saturday. This one tipped in with a high stick. The whistle goes. Face-off coming back out into the neutral zone.
See lots of line combinations now from Bob Hartley and his coaching staff. They're not afraid to mix things up and give guys that need more ice time or should be rewarded more ice time. So you see all kinds of combinations the rest with 15-19 to go here.
O'Brien pitching in, Monahan with the puck. Swung over to Yuri Hoodler. Hoodler slaps it in on Lettinen. He'll deflect it to the corner. Camilleri waiting for it. Eric Coley's there. It's kicked away, and Jordy Benn knocked down on the play by Sean Monahan. Monahan now using his big frame. Can't come up with a puck. Chushkin gives it to Daly, and he'll dump it in. Eric Cole. Drives the net. Ramo's there, and he gloves it and will hang on to it.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca.
Flames fans here in Dallas looking on. Obviously not too happy with what's happened so far. Road trip has been tough for Calgary. There's no arguing that either way. Galiardi trying to get it by Dillon. Pushes it to the corner. Ahead to back, and he can't get to it, but Jones will. Over Jones. There's Backlund. Gets it to Galiardi, but he's tied up very well by Stefan Robidoux. Jones comes over, hits Fiddler. Tipped in. Dallas plays host to Winnipeg this weekend, and they're out east taking on Buffalo and Montreal next week.
Flames trying to stretch out this ice, make it a lot bigger for themselves. Dallas not biting on that type of offensive play. They're staying right in the middle of the ice, playing some tight defense.
Stajan leads the attack. Glencross with the puck, shoots into the glove of Kari Lehtinen, and he'll hang on to it. Dallas, with one more here in the third, increase the lead. It's Telus Flames hockey.
This game winding down. Yuri Hudler's great start to the season in terms of point streak is in jeopardy. 9 consecutive games, 12 points overall, just trailing Joe Nieuwendyk back from 1993, where he put a string of 10 consecutive games together. But truly a fine start for Yuri Hudler.
9-game streak, as Roger mentioned, the longest in the season. Crosby had an 8-game going at 17 points. And so did Patrick Marleau before they were stopped.
Stempniak, who extended his point streak to 5 games tonight with his goal, gets it behind the net and in front, Stajan trying to feed it to Glencross, and it's played out.
As an example, as you mentioned earlier too, just not clicking tonight. That normally is a quick bang-bang type of play, and gripping the stick a little bit too tight here.
Stempniak shot. Lehtinen couldn't quite corral it. Flames after it. Won't come up with it. Chiasson hard off the boards. But Chris Breen is there. He's able to reach up and pick it out of the air, about 9 feet up. Glencross trying to pass it out in front. Gets it back. Turns over. Stajan knocked down on the play. I think everybody was a little surprised by how quickly that all came about. Stajan gaining the line, dropping it. It's behind Glencross. Here comes Eric Cole. He puts on the burners. Now picked up, brought back up the ice by Tim Jackman. Dumps it in. Lance Boma after it. Fought off by Jordy Ben. Daly gets just enough of it. Nichushkin into Calgary territory. Goes wide. Flames battle it to the blue line, but not out. Eric Cole, he'll try the wrap around, but back on the play as Butler's stick was caught up with Cole, and Cole Bourne back to get it for Calgary. Jackman shot. Lehtinen has it in the webbing. He's going to hold on and get a face-off in the offensive zone. And Tim Jackman pushing with a couple of stars. 12:05 to go here in the third period.
Jackman, Colburn, along with Lance Boma, getting a little bit more ice time in the second here in the third, and talk about being aggressive and wanting to make things happen. Jackman, as the guys say, one of the quickest skaters on the team, and that caught a lot of players by surprise, but it's true, he's got that big size, he gets that puck deep, and he wants to bang some bodies when he's out there.
Sean Monahan, Camilleri, Hudler out now for Calgary. Weidman and Russell back at the point. And Brendan Dillon. Dillon kind of set the tone in this game in the first period. A couple of big hits, and really was a thorn in the side of the Flames. Is Lehtinen out of the net? His first game back after missing the last 5, and that one into the midsection on the captain. Jamie Benn, he's sore. Weidman shot. As Lehtinen saw that one the entire way. Chris Russell seals off the boards. Monahan trying to add some assistance if he can. Knocks down Ben. Crowd looking for a call. Referees not giving one. Camilleri flipping it in. Going back to get it. Camilleri knocks it out of midair, trying to sweep it out in front, can't. Backlund covering up at the point, plays it deep. Ellis again. He's been noticeably quiet in this game. Really hasn't had to. His line mates have been picking up the offensive production. Jones back to Butler, off the glass, into the Flames bench. Gives us an opportunity to take a look at our game review, brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company.
Pretty tight game until the second period. 1:01. 3 goals by the striking quick Dallas Stars, carrying the load. Kerry Leighton, 26 saves, 1 assist, his 18th of the season, and Lee Stepniak, the goal of the game so far. He's on a 5-game point streak.
If you're wondering whether or not those 3 goals in 1:01 are a record for Dallas, they are not. Dallas scored 3 goals in 44 seconds. October 14th in 1995. Hatcher, Medano, and Guy Carbonneau, the goal scorers there. With a wraparound attempt in front. Rommel with the save. He reaches out, and he will hang on to the puck. Get a face-off in the Calgary end.
Dallas, Jimmy Ruff sending out their momentum kind of line. They want to get things going. McDermott trying to finish that play. As Cole and Fiddler try to jam that front of the net. Also out there, Antoine Roussel, league-leading penalty minute leader.
Connaughton shot goes wide. Kevin Connaughton in his first NHL game. Seen a lot of ice time in this one. Got a penalty in the first period. Gonchar, his play ahead by Cole, and this is down the ice, and it's coming all the way back. As a coach, do you look at this game in its individuality, or do you combine this with Phoenix at the effort? Of the first 8 games for Calgary, they had a certain identity. I don't think we've seen that same identity in Phoenix or here in Dallas.
Well, this one's a lot different because it's not in a back-to-back situation. This one, I think the Flames realize that they have been in the game. They just do not have the intensity that they need to have to be successful to win games here in the National Hockey League. And I don't mean they don't have it at all. They just don't have it in tonight's game.
Calgary trailing Dallas by 4. It's Telus Flames hockey. Dallas used a 6th-round pick to trade for Sergei Gonchar from Ottawa this past summer. We'll take a look at the career numbers. And Hall of Fame worthy career, Charlie?
They're up there. This is game number 1,186. You can see some of the numbers that he has put together. Jimmy Neal brought him up here to have that experience on the blue line, and that's one thing that that Dallas has. They have experience, and maybe too much of it for players over 30, 32 years of age, but he is one that will bring some of the younger players along.
One of those younger players, they're picked in the first round, 10th overall, Val Nichushkin. For the record, Gonchar, the 14th overall pick by Washington back in 1992. That's a long career.
He really has. He's been throwing, thinking that his career is over. Ottawa picked him up, and still thinks he's got that offensive touch that they're looking for from the point.
Nichushkin trying to shield the puck from Shane O'Brien, but the veteran Flame defenseman got it away, but the Flames unable to get it out. Eric Cole goes for a change, so Stars able to make a couple of moves as the puck rolls out in front of Ramo. He'll scoop that right up off the ground. Chason now pulling at somebody. Jackman coming in, and Tim Jackman's going to get a penalty, so a late power play it looks like, unless there's going to be offsetting minors, but the referee right away signaling that Tim Jackman's headed to the box.
Chason and looked like Joe Colburn were doing a little bit of a pushing and shoving. Colburn coming in to protect his goaltender, gave Chason a little bit of a shot right at the end of the play. Right at the bottom of your screen, there's the shot in the ribs right there. Chason turns around, and then out of nowhere, Jackman comes in a little bit late. Those are the penalties. You want to be aggressive, and you want to make a point and not really definitely start something, but you want to know and show that emotion that you're unhappy with the outcome of the game so far, but you've got to be very disciplined on the type of penalties you take.
Curtis Glencross having a conversation with referee Kevin Pollock in front of the penalty box. And it's the first power play of the game for the Dallas Stars, who, much like have only scored one goal prior to tonight in the third period, have yet to score a power play goal at home this season. This is only their 4th home game. So again, those weird anomalies that start a season. Whitney's pass, looking for Eakin. Sagan's out there. At the point is Jamie Benn. Benn with 2 goals in this game. Now he'll slide down. He has the puck on the wall. Back to Robidas. Whitney to Robidas. That one's intercepted by the Flames and tipped up over the glass. And TJ Gagliardi just heads right off. I think some of the fans, were they thinking maybe it was shot over?
No,
because that was just tipped.
I think it was a fantastic catch after
was
it
it a
around and
I
kicked
see.
around. No flying into the beers tonight, but it was a good catch.
Yeah, that was something. Los Angeles, puck goes over the glass and lands in a guy's beer. Stajan killing this penalty for Calgary. Pushing with Robidas. Flames without their captain, Mark Giordano, hasn't skated in a couple of days. Was hurt, we think, in the third period, blocking a shot Monday in Los Angeles. He's day-to-day with a lower body injury. Alice again, quick pass to Whitney. Up top, Robidas. Shot, Whitney. I don't think he got all of it, to say the least. Eakin back to Whitney. That one hits Weidman. Oh, and it's shot over the top of the net in a bid for a hat trick by Jamie Benn. Comes back to Benn at the point. Benn slides it to Sagan. Down low. Cody Eakin side of the net. Knocked down by Kari Ramo. And a penalty coming up to Ramo. As he hauled down Cody Eakin. And for 26 seconds, the Dallas Stars will get a 5-on-3 power play.
Dallas has 2 power plays. One, they load up to shoot from the right side, which was on the ice at that time. Whitney, Benn, right-handed shots on the off wing. And this one will come out, all the shots from the right side. Benn has a great opportunity on an empty net as it goes about 1.5 feet over the net. Ramo trying to help out his defenseman at that point, gets too aggressive. But again, that's part of making a statement too, protecting your own part of the net.
Making a statement or frustration?
Well, a little bit of both, but again, you want to make sure you're unhappy with what the score is going on right now.
Benn to take the draw. Whitney back to Sagan. No changes except Chiasson up front now for Dallas instead of Cody Eakin. 5-on-3. Swept through the crease off the side of the net by Benn. Brody knocked down. Can't get the puck out. 10 seconds to go in the minor to Jackman. That one's up off bodies in front. No, it's not. It's up off bodies in front into Ramo's glove.
Almost sounded like it hit part of his mask before it went into the glove. But there's trying to load up with the heavy shots. That same power play stayed out for the whole minute and 54 seconds. Here's a hard shot. Right into the glove.
He looked behind him for a second, didn't he?
He did. Covered up as much of the net as he can.
Ramos starting his 3rd game of the last 4 for Calgary. 1 shot so far for Dallas on the 5-on-3. They win the draw, but they fire the puck back in the neutral zone. That's going to allow Tim Jackman to get back out on the ice. So now a 5-on-4. Tipped in front. Ramo with the save. Nichushkin back to the point. Gonchar with it. Now Peverly to Cole in front. It's pumped wide. Peverly gets it back. A foot race to the boards. Nichushkin beaten by Jackman. Backlund with it into Tim Jackman. Michael Backlund. His shot tipped in on Lettinen. Tim Jackman will head off. 1 minute to go in Dallas's 2nd power play. Comfortably in control, 5-1 over top of the Flames. Gonchar, nice little play at the point. Keeps it alive to Trevor Daley. Watched by Sean Monahan. Monahan getting some penalty kill time. This is something Bob Hartley talked about yesterday after the Flames announced they were keeping Monahan. Into the glove of Kari Ramo. And he hangs on to it.
It's been a while since Monahan's been on the ice, but first time you've ever said that Sean Monahan's out there getting penalties.
Yeah.
So again, this is the best time that you can use your players to see in different situations, especially a youngster like Monahan who's only 19, to put him on a penalty kill. You never know if they can kill penalties until you give them the opportunity.
And just so that we're clear on this, some might be we make the assumption everybody knows what we're talking about. The 9 games, if the Flames play him in this 10th game, this now counts as 1 year on his entry-level contract. They could have sent him back to Ottawa in the Canadian Hockey League, and they would have saved that 1 year. But take a look at the face-off percentages. Charlie is first 4 games, last 5 games, incrementally better.
And you can see the ice time get a little bit better too, because that's the confidence not only does he's having in himself and playing in the National Hockey League, that also comes from the coaching staff, giving them more and more responsibility. You never want to give them too much right off the bat. It just sets them up too much for failure or too much to get frustrated. This is a nice way to ease him in the National Hockey League. He's up to 10 games now. He can relax about that right now and just play the game.
Darren Haynes, as a reporter for Canadian Press, pointed out to me that after his first 9 games, Sean Monahan had the identical face-off percentage that Patrice Bergeron had after his first 9 games in the National Hockey League. And Bergeron has turned out to be a pretty good centerman, penalized player, back out on the ice. So the Stars officially 0 for 2 on the power play and have yet to score a power play goal at home. And the fans frustrated by the icing call.
And a power play in this situation, up by 4, is also a kind of a power play. You don't see the intensity that you would normally see if it's a tied game or a 1 or 2 goal game. But knowing how important that goal is, and sometimes just looking at the scoreboard offensively can frustrate a coach because you're not going to see that desperation that you want your team to get into.
Hoodler, pass in front to Shane O'Brien, hits a body. After it is Sean Monahan, turns around, finds Hoodler, looking to unload, but again, right on top of him defensively is Kevin Connaughton. Good play by the rookie defender for Dallas.
Just a little bit of hesitation. Missed shots for the Flames. Hoodler usually has that top shelf.
And the net's knocked off its moorings, and a penalty coming up. And it's going to go against Shane O'Brien. Yuri Hoodler trying to string his point streak to 10 games. Couldn't quite get it done there.
November 22nd, 1963 will certainly a date that went down in infamy as far as the city of Dallas is concerned. On that date, John Kennedy was assassinated. And as a result, this is 50 years later, as of November 22nd, the city of Dallas is bracing itself for quite the attention worldwide to commemorate that particular event. Truly a sad day, but a day that will be remembered by many people worldwide this November 22nd.
Well, for the second time in this period, the Dallas Stars have a 5-on-3 as both Shane O'Brien and David Jones sit in the box for Calgary for a full 2 minutes. And here you've got a couple of guys sitting on 2 goals. It's hat trick time for Jamie Benn and Alex Chiasson. They're both out there. Gonchar and Seguin at the points for Dallas. Ray Whitney, the other player. Puck comes to Whitney over his stick. And now Seguin. So delay of game for O'Brien and a bench minor as the puck hits Ramo up high. And now Brody's stick has just exploded. So it's a 5-on-2.5. Puck back to Seguin. Over to Benn. Benn walks, shoots. That one goes wide. Will it get out? Flames need it to. It doesn't. Gonchar keeps it in. Seguin. Brody with no stick. In front, Ramo makes the save. Chiasson is stopped, and that gives the Flames a big break. 1:02 to go in the 5-on-3.
Huge break. A little bit of friendly talking between Ben and Ramo at that point, but a broken stick, 5-on-3. You're just caught out there. And Brody does the best he can down low. You just can't intercept a pass like that. That's just a quick redirect by Chiasson there, and Ramo read it perfectly. Comes across the big body. Protect the front of the net.
Gonchar over to Seguin. Down to Benn. Back up to Gonchar. Rich Peverly. Gonchar. Sagan to Ben. Up to Sagan. That one at the side of the net. Now Jamie Benn. Sagan shoots. Ramo with a great glove grab. Kari Ramo has not given up on his teammates in this game. Now Sagan, I should say, has moved over to the near side. Gonchar blocked by Chris Russell. Puck goes all the way down the ice. Just 15 seconds to go in the 5-on-3.
Not a lot of shooting coming from Dallas, and that's something they talked about this morning, was having their power plays have the ability to shoot that puck and get into position. They have been, but they haven't been shooting it.
Both Jones and O'Brien are out. On a different night with a different score, that would have a different meaning, killing off an entire 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes. Nichushkin trying to go around a couple of players. Knocked down. Jones to Boma. Boma finds Glencross. He whistles one just wide. Eric Cole will pick it up. Cole darts across the red line. Cole gains the line, finds Horkoff. His shot stopped by Kari Ramo. And Ramo has had to be sharp here in the third period, or this could have gotten a lot worse.
Boy, he's been very good, I think, all game. A lot of the goals, he's been caught out there. Odd numbered attacks, redirection, but he's been very solid between the pipes, especially on those 2 5-on-3s, and the last one was a full 2 minutes, so he held his club in there, held himself in there, and I think for him it's an inner battle too, wanting to make sure that he can represent himself and get ready for another start.
Puck comes from Roussel all the way back down to his own blue line as he split the two defensemen. Under 2 minutes to go. Calgary back on the plane as soon as this one's over. They head home to take on Washington on Saturday. It's a 3-game homestand for the Flames. Washington, Toronto, and Detroit coming in, so not exactly easy teams as the Flames find a way to bounce back. We've got Detroit next Friday. Looking forward to that game as the Red Wings every year. Now it's Daniel Alfredsson. Every year they find something. They're always there. They're in the East, though. They're not in the West anymore.
That's the big difference, but they seem to have a couple pretty good offensive players still there. So I just love to see how they come out and play.
Well, it's Gustafsson Player of the Week in the National Hockey League as well. The monster for Detroit.
Datsuk, Zetterberg, very dangerous players.
Whitney holds up, watched by the defenseman Green. Gonchar jumps into the rush. Now Hudler will pick it up, plays it out in the neutral zone. Hudler looking for it.
1 minute remaining in the third period.
Monahan falls on the play. So the Flames will fall to 4-4-2 on the season. And it looks like Yuri Hudler's point streak to start the season as he heads off after his last shift will end at 9 games. The longest point streak for the Flames, 16 games. It happened on 3 occasions. Suter, Roberts, and Iginla authored those. But as Roger told you, just 1 game back of Joe Nieuwendyk for points in consecutive games to start a season. Stempniak, the lone goal in this game for Calgary. He has points in 5 consecutive games since we're on that theme. Comes back to Breen at the point through traffic. Lettinen grabs it. He'll drop it, and that one's off the boards. Breen touched it. No icing. The Dallas Stars rebound after 2 losses on the road. They score 3 goals in 1 minute and 1 second in the second period and cruise to a 5-1 win over the Calgary Flames.
Well, this is learning lessons as you go along. Everybody knew this road trip was going to be a very tough one, but I don't think they expected the outcome of a game like this, especially the way it was early in that second period once Stempniak had tied things up. And that's that lesson. The intensity level has to stay at 110% for the Flames every game, every minute if they're going to be successful this season.
This 5-game road trip was supposed to be a test for the Calgary Flames. They go 1-4 away from the Dome.